So I'd actually heard of the horror stories of people applying and then their transcript not getting to their school of
The transcript office is actually I don't
Mosu,
yes.
that's why when I say we need to stop this idea and ideology of you are helping the student out. You see, that mentality is what most people working, I'm sorry to say this, most people working at the university across all levels have.
Okay. Hello guys. Thank you for joining us
Hi.
again on another segment of our video on your way to grad school. So today we'll be talking about okay guys, in this video we'll talk about the statement of purpose, which is one crucial about this year, about this that they probably taught 6 years ago. They can't remember, so they will just write something. But if you sit with them and if they already have your statement of purpose, that will juggle much of their memory. To say that, oh wow, I'm not here. They will say that yes, I remember this student, and then they can tailor their letter.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. Hello everyone. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Welcome everyone. It's so good to see you all. Yeah, so today, okay, before I move on, let me tell everyone, welcome. I'm so happy to see you all and thank you. It's really great to converge and just meet to gist and talk. So welcome everyone to my YouTube channel and thank you to our new subscribers. Thank you to everyone who has been watching our videos and commenting. Thank you so much. Today we're going to share our transcript stories. I don't want to call it transcript horror stories because at least I hope one or two of us may have had a positive experience. But yeah, so I'm here with my friends Dare, Aminat, and Kaede, and we're going to share with you, our experience, like in terms of the transcript application and all that. One interesting fact is that we all, did our bachelor's degree at the University of Lagos, but I know that we all have different experiences. So to be fun to hear what you all have to say. So I'm going to ask you to please introduce yourself and where you study or studied, like outside Nigeria. My name is Mosumala, and I study at the University of Florida.
What are you studying?
Water and Gary. I'm a PhD student in the Department of English. Okay. Yes, Dario.
Hi, my name is Daria Adeyemi. I just completed my Master's of Arts in Geography at the University of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And I did my bachelor's degree as well in Geography at the University of Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you.
Okay, I'm next. Hi, my name is Motalani. I just completed my master's at the South Ural State University in Russia, and I studied philology. I also studied Russian language as my first degree at the University of Lagos.
Okay, my name is Kayode. I'm studying for a PhD right now at the Ohio State University, Columbus, Ohio. I got my first degree in English at the University of Lagos, the university of first choice and the
And
nation.
nation's
Barefoot.
pride.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Any other one is a counterfeit. Okay, so we know like the transcript, like it's a very important part of the application process. And as I mentioned earlier, like I know we all have different experiences, and it's actually good that we're having this conversation because yes, some of us study in the US, some studied in Canada, or they study in Canada, and then Aminat, you studied in Russia. So like it would be really nice to learn, you know, what we all went through and if we had different experiences. So I guess my first question is you know, when you learned that you were going to submit a transcript, what did you think? Like, did you think it was going to be easy, you know, to get your transcript sent to your prospective university?
So for me, like Musu was saying, my transcript story is not so much of a horror story, and it's kind of because I knew ahead of time that I was going to apply to study abroad. So even before I started applications for maybe masters or PhD, I already had my transcript in my hands. And what I did was, so I think while I was in NYSC or even before, because I already knew this is something I was going to do, right? I applied for my transcript. So I'd actually heard of the horror stories of people applying and then their transcript not getting to their school, of the school offering them admissions on time, and some people actually losing admission offers based on the fact that their transcript didn't get there on time. So somebody then advised me that the best thing is to request that your transcript be sent to an organization where you can have access to it, right? Instead of always, every time you want to send your transcript to a school in Europe or North America, you are always going back to UNILAG to say, oh, I want to send my transcript. So the person told me, if you have an organization that does some sort of educational programming, you can ask UNILAG to send your transcript to them, and then you can get that transcript from them. And when you start applying, you will always upload your unofficial copy, which is what many schools require for the application process. But then once they give you an admission offer, you still need to go back to UNILAG to send the official transcript. An official transcript basically means the one that comes directly from your school, your alma mater, I mean, to the school that where you've been offered an admission. So that was kind of the process I took. So I knew this organization in Lagos that prepares students for study abroad. So I basically just requested that UNILAG send my transcript to them. And then I told the owner of the organization to give me a copy of the transcript. And so all through my application processes, I was simply just uploading the transcript I had, which counts as unofficial transcript, like I said. But that really made the application process easy for me. And because the transcript was going from UNILAG to a company in Lagos, it wasn't so stressful. And also because I wasn't under pressure, right? Because I wasn't even applying for anything then. I just wanted to have access to my transcript. But I've learned that that is no longer possible. UNILAG doesn't send transcript to organizations again, except WES or embassies. Like you can't just ask them to send transcript to any
Could you
organization.
tell us what WES means?
So WES is this thing that so WES is a huge organization where what they do is basically to kind of transcribe your transcript into what applies in the country you're applying to. Okay, let me break that down. Okay, so WES is, thank you, Musun, World Education Services. And what they do, because UNILAG operates a 5-point CGPA system, right? But many schools in North America operate a 4-point GPA system. And so it's like when you have your maybe 4 point something over 5, they need to convert that. That's the word I'm looking for. Convert that to a 4-point GPA system. And that is basically what WES does. They kind of convert your transcript to what they can understand in North America.
Okay, Dari, you go.
No, I'll leave the floor for you. Please go ahead.
Okay, so my story is similar to Kayode's own because I knew ahead of time that I was going to study outside Nigeria, and I had the opportunity to serve in a university in Nigeria too. So what I did was I applied for the transcript and I requested that they sent it to the university because of course it's a university, so it's easier for them to send it there. And because I know someone there and my transcript was sent there and the process of getting it back to Lagos was something else because I had to send it through a public transport, and when it got to me it was a mess. I just wish I really did not do that. But it was just similar because at that time you can't get your transcripts by hand, so you just have to tell an organization, I mean, university to get it for you. And that was the same thing I did, and it was not really of it was a good thing for me to do because it made the process easier. So when they asked from the university I was applying to, I was able to scan to them and send to them. And they did not even request for the original copy from the university, and which makes it a whole lot good. And again, after my master's, I think the way it is over there, as you're collecting your certificates, they give you your transcript alongside. It comes together with the certificate. I don't know if that's how it's done from you guys and too. So applying for PhD in other schools, it is a lot easier. Unlike the way it is in Nigeria, or like where you have to go back to school for your transcript. Now I don't have to go back anywhere for transcript because you already have the transcript with you, and you can just go ahead and apply.
You didn't have to send or request for an original copy. And I think another thing is that, getting the school to process your transcript is actually good. Like before you think of applying, it's actually good so that by the time you now want that official copy, like the school can now send it because they already have your information. But let's hear from Dari.
Yeah. So my story was a little bit different and similar, but a little bit different and slightly complex. For me, I knew about this whole study abroad thing. I think around 2013, 2014, when someone spoke to me about it. So I never really like find out more in terms of the required documents and everything. So I went for service almost close to the end of the service year, the NYSC year. I found out that I needed a transcript, which was around September, and I was going to be applying around December. So it was a funny experience. So what I did was I did similar thing that Kayode did. I applied that University of Lagos should send my transcript to an organization in Lagos. But I want to clarify that during that time, we did not have any access to unofficial transcript. There was no way as a student for you to have access to your transcript. And if we were applying to 5 different schools, we would have been sending a transcript to each school, which would have cost us more, almost 10% of probably the minimum wage salary, monthly minimum wage salary in Nigeria. It was unaffordable for me at that time and a lot of us. So the only option that we had was to actually go through the process of sending it to an organization and picking up a copy from that particular organization. Things have changed slightly now because students have access to an unofficial transcript online. Now, if students go into their portal, they can easily download an official transcript on the University of Lagos portal. So what I did was, yes, I went there, pick up my transcript, and I used that to apply to almost 6 schools that I submitted my application to. it took me some time to get my transcripts. It took, because I followed up with it. I think when I applied, then it was around September. Around November, I was not hearing anything from the university. So I had to press some buttons and try to find out who works at the office and speak to the people that are in charge of transcript and make sure that it was processed as soon as possible, because then I was pretty much close to the deadline of application. So yeah, that was my experience. And now at the University of Calgary, you have access to your transcript online. And I'm happy that now students at the University of Lagos can do the same as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Diane. I think like it's good that things are changing, right? Over here as well, like you have access to your unofficial transcript. So then if you now need the school to send it to another school, then you now apply for them to send it. And I think like I don't think there's a big deal in having your transcript or seeing it's your work, it's your results. Like why should it be hoarded? So it's good that students have access to it now. So my own transcript experience, like it's just almost similar to everyone's experience, because Kayode had applied. He had and we both studied in English, by the way, Department of English. So because he already had the experience, he told me about it, and I also did the same thing. Like I applied and it was sent to the particular organization. Yeah, but I remember then that, I did the first application and there was issue, they had issues with payment and everything. And then I had to pay again. I don't even think I got a refund. But anyways, it is what it is. But when I really understood the issue of transcript and like the oral stories that people go through was when I was working as a graduate assistant at Unilag.
But I want to move on to something else that Darry mentioned, and when he said he had to press some buttons. And I would just say to our viewers that unfortunately, the reality is that sometimes you might need to know someone in the records office in your your university where you're trying to get that transcript. It's sad, but all these things are supposed to be automated, but it just doesn't work that way. Because I remember, as much as I said my transcript journey was smooth, I remember when it came to sending the official transcript after I'd gotten an offer of admission, and UNILAG was supposed to send my official transcript directly to Ohio State University. It just did not happen.